Hello everyone, welcome again to our academy. We are continuing our course How to Think Logically, and we are going to talk about denial of axioms. Thinking includes understanding and judgment. Understanding needs definition, judgment needs evidence. Definition is made of matter and form, evidence is made of matter and form. The matter of definition may be essentials or accidentals. The form is to start by general concepts and to move forward special ones. The matter of evidence includes certainties or certain truth, like sensory judgments, experimental judgments, documentary judgments, and axiomatic judgments. The form of an evidence may be syllogism, induction, or analogy. A definition using essentials is called a limiting one. A definition using accidentals is called a descriptive one. An evidence using certain truth and syllogism is called a demonstration. As we said before, axioms are very clear. They can't be denied. In fact, we use them during denial. However, some people try to deny axioms. For example, some people say that it's impossible to know the reality. So, it's impossible to define something by its own essentials, and it's impossible to have a true certain judgment. Does their say reflect reality? Is it true if they say that their say is true or it reflects reality? So they contradict themselves. And if they say that their say is not true, it doesn't reflect reality, they also contradict themselves. Some people say that syllogism is useless. We know that a syllogism is an evidence which moves from a general premise to a special conclusion. It leads to two certain conclusions, provided that the premises are true and certain. Some people say that syllogism is an evidence that doesn't produce new knowledge. Every evidence that doesn't produce new knowledge is useless, so syllogism is useless. In fact, they are using a syllogism to deny syllogism. It's impossible to deny syllogism. The cause they are saying that is they think that every knowledge comes from an induction. We have already said that that is not true. In fact, induction is based on syllogism. So, they contradict themselves. Some people deny sensory knowledge. They say that sensory judgments are not true and certain. Our sensation is not right. For example, we see this pencil broken, and in reality it is not broken. So we ask them, how do you know that this pencil is not broken? They answer you that, of course they do this by sensation. They look at the pencil after being removed from the water, or they touch it. So they use sensory judgments, and they believe that their judgments are true. This is a contradiction. Some people may try to deny the law of contradiction. This is impossible. The law of contradiction is the most obvious, clear, and axiomatic law of the mind. It's used in every other judgment. For example, when you are judging that you are present, in the same time you are judging that it's impossible for you to be not present. So you are using the law of contradiction. We may ask these people, are you denying the law of contradiction only? Or are you not denying it in the same time, place, and from the same aspect? Of course, they are denying it only, and they refuse not to deny it. So they are using the law of contradiction to deny the law of contradiction. So this law is impossible to deny. Let's look at this example. Someone may have an accident, but he's not harmed. So he may say that the accident was bad for my car, but it was good for me as it reminded me of the important stuff in my life. Is this a contradiction? Of course not. We said that for a contradiction to take place, the same thing must be present and not present in the same place, time, and from the same aspect. In this example, the aspect was not the same. Looking at the car, the accident was bad. Looking at his thinking and priorities, the accident was good. So, there is no contradiction in such examples. Some people may try to deny the law of the whole. This law says that the whole is always greater than its part. The apple is always greater than its half. If we deny this law, this means that the apple is equal to its half, is lesser than its half. This means that the other half is present and not present in the same time, place, and from the same aspect. And this is a contradiction. Some people may try to deny the law of causality. This law says that every change has a cause. By change here we mean something that needs a cause. So this law says that everything that needs a cause needs a cause. This is very clear and axiomatic. If someone denies this, this means he's saying that everything that needs a cause doesn't need a cause. This is a contradiction. Some people may try to deny the law of relevance is always relevant to the cause. For these people, we may ask them to put their hands in the fire without any protection. Of course, they will never do this, because they believe that the hot fire will burn their hands. They believe that the result here will be relevant to the cause. This is a contradiction. So they contradict themselves. Some people may try to deny the law of lobbing. This law says that it's impossible for something to be its own cause. If you deny this, this means that something may be its own cause. So it must be present before its presence to be able to produce itself. Present before its presence means that it's present and not present in the same time, place, and from the same aspect. This is a contradiction. Some people may try to deny the law of infinite chain of causes. This law says that it's impossible to have an infinite chain of causes. There must be a first cause. If you deny the first cause, this means denial of the first result, which is the second cause. This means denial of the third cause, then the fourth cause, and so on, till denial of the last result. So denial of the first cause means that the last result is present and not present in the same time, place, and from the same aspect. This is a contradiction. Some people may try to deny experimentals or experimental judgments. In fact, experimental judgments are based on sensory judgments, axioms especially, mental primes, and syllogism. For example, after repeated trials in different circumstances and conditions, we say that iron expansion by heat is a phenomenon that is repeated in every circumstance. Every phenomenon that is repeated in every circumstance has an essential cause. It's not accidental. So, iron expansion by heat has an essential cause. It is not accidental. So, iron expands by heat. The first premise is based on sensory judgments. The second premise is based on the definition of something by its own essentials. They are arranged in a syllogism, so the conclusion results. Some people try to deny documentaries or documentary judgments, which are judgments that depend on essays, reports, or texts that are impossible to lie, multiple sourced, and based on sensory witness. Documentaries, in fact, are like experimentals. We may say that this say is a say that is repeated in every circumstance. Every say that is repeated in every circumstance has a real or an essential cause. So this say has a real cause. The first premise is based on our sensory judgments, after asking or searching in the different sources. The second one is based on definition of something by its own essentials. They are arranged in a syllogism, so the conclusion results. Another way to deny axioms is relativity, to say that everything or every knowledge is relative. This say itself, is it relative or not? If it is relative, so it is not an absolute truth. It is not applied on every knowledge or on everything. So it contradicts itself. And if it is not relative, this means that some things are not relative, or some knowledge is not relative. So relativity contradicts itself. So it's always impossible to deny axioms. In fact, you are using axioms while you are denying them, and this is a contradiction. Thank you.